Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what about you makes people stop and stare. So we have three different oracle decks to choose from. Pick whichever one you are most drawn to. So for pile number one, we have the Golden Cat's Eye Heart with the African Goddess Rising oracle deck. For pile number two, we have Purple Agate with the Britney Spears oracle deck. And for pile three, we have Mahogany Obsidian with the Divine Feminine Oracle. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. As I said, pick whichever one you are most drawn to. So hopefully by now you have picked a pile for yourself. If not, you can pause the video, maybe even meditate on the piles to see which one yours is. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number ones. If you chose this Golden Cat's Eye Heart and the African Goddess Rising Oracle deck, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what about you makes people stop and stare. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you happen to find yourself resonating with these messages, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, please find my email address in the description box below. So your card says Moss. Let's go ahead and pull your other oracle cards, and then after that we'll take a look at some tarot for you. Okay, so spirit guides of pile number one. Spirit guides of pile number one. What about pile number one makes people stop and stare? What about pile one makes people stop and stare? So we have the Storms card. We have Desire, really cool. What about them makes people stop and stare? We have Grounding. And we have Truth. Okay, so let's just move this to the side a little bit. Okay, so firstly, the thing I'm really drawn to in this card that you chose was the sunset here. And here we also see a sunset and a beautiful red sunset here. So what is making me feel is like, let's say you're out in public and the sun is setting or rising, or something about the way the sun hits on your face makes you glow. There's something about you having very glowy, radiant, beautiful skin that just looks sun-kissed in the sun. It just looks like the sun makes you glow. I don't know, there's something about that, like your skin. Your skin also looks very soft and moisturized, where people wonder what your skin feels like, what it's like to touch your hands, your arms. I don't know if you are somebody that likes physical touch or not, but people always wonder, if you do or not. So the first thing that kind of like makes people stop and stare is your skin and how glowy you look. I'm also hearing breathtaking. So there's something about you that takes people's breath away whenever they stare at you, and then they just need to stop and stare because it's like, whoa, this breathtaking goddess over here. That's the type of energy I'm getting from your pile. There could also be something about your hair, especially for those that have very curly hair, because I'm very drawn to their curly hair here. Or if you wear something around your head, like accessories or a headband, head wrap, something about accessories you wear around your hair or hats, people really like that. Or if you tie your hair up or do nice hairstyles, there's something about that that people like to stare at. Especially curly hair because it's showing up twice here. So I'm getting like very beautiful big curls that is just like, wow, I love your curls. I see people thinking that in their mind. There's something about this pile having a curvilicious, beautiful body But even if you're not um super curvy, there could just be something about your body having a beautiful figure. The shape of your body. I feel like hourglass figures or just very beautiful curves. Okay, and there's something about your fashion style as well that makes people stop and stare. There's something about your fashion, kind of like being very innovative, I want to say, and creative and very unique to you. But there's also something about the clothes looking sexy on you, showing off all the right parts of your body, of your figure. So people love to tend to stop and stare to look at your body, your figure, the way your clothes look on you, and they love the way you dress. Especially for this pile, I see maybe a lot of you like to wear dresses. Okay, so Spirit is kind of joking with me. So, for context of what I'm about to say, this is part of the vision or not vision I'm seeing, what I heard from Spirit. So sometimes Spirit shows me or makes me hear things that I've heard before other people say. And for context, my stepmom is Thai. So in Thai, I think the word nom is your chest area, and then I heard nom in her voice. So maybe there's something about you having a very nice chest area that makes people stop and stare. Okay. And people definitely desire something with you or desire something from you, either romantically or they just see you as very appealing to the eye, where they desire something sexual from you, or there's something about people desiring friendship from you. So, for example, let's say somebody sees you and they're like, "Oh, I'd love to be that person's friend over there." That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Yeah, I'm hearing Body Yaddy Yaddy, that song. I think it's Megan the Stallion. I'm sure someone will know what song I'm talking about, but I'm also seeing something about the way you do your makeup. I feel like this pile loves makeup for a lot of you watching, but you also do have a beautiful face just naturally, but I feel like this pile does love to wear makeup. There's something about the way you contour or highlight your face, the eye makeup you do that really accentuates your features. um and something about like brightening the under eyes, it looks very beautiful. Like your makeup just suits you and it accentuates your features, which is why people love to stare at your makeup. But there's also something about your music taste. So let's say you're walking in public and you have a speaker with you and you're playing music, or you have headphones in but it's really loud, where people walk past, they can hear your music. There's something about people liking your music taste, or let's say you're driving in the car, you're playing music and people can hear it. I'm seeing an energy like that. Also, something about your voice and your laughter is so beautiful, where people just kind of like, even if they're not staring at you in the moment, they hear your voice or your laughter, and it's like they have to go back and look who that is, because there's something about your voice, your laughter, that is so playful and beautiful. You also seem like somebody that lives in your truth. You don't seem like you're trying to be something you're not or trying too hard. You just seem like you're being yourself, and I think a lot of people are drawn to you because of that. It makes you shine magnetically. It makes your aura magnetic to others because they can see a sense of truth in it, but also some people are very drawn to you and your energy, which is why they stare, because it's like they see something within you that they see within themselves. That's what I'm getting from the mirroring effect here, where she's looking into the river and it's kind of mirroring her. So a lot of people feel like they relate to you, so they love to stare at you. Maybe even when they're speaking to you, they love to just stare at you. Um, because you're beautiful to the sight, but there's also something about them loving to look into your eyes and just loving to look at your little facial expressions, how you smile, like the little things you do with your facial expressions while you're speaking, and it's just mesmerizing in some way. I do also think you have a very grounding energy. So when somebody is feeling very heavy emotions around you, it's like you sort of just calm them down. You help that storm settle. So I think a lot of people are drawn to you because of that energy you have that is just so grounding, especially if they have been used to chaos their whole life and they need that grounding energy. A lot of people will be drawn to you for that reason. But it's not conscious, it's an unconscious thing. It's like, okay, because I lack this grounding energy within myself, I'm unconsciously seeking it within you because you calm down the storm within me, the intensity within me. Some people feel like very intense, where they feel a little bit like they're too much and they feel like they need to hide those parts of themselves behind a mask. But I do think that some people are brought into your life, especially if they wear a mask or they hide their true self out of fear of being too much, and you help them take that mask off and accept themselves and love themselves as they are and see that there's nothing about them that's too much. The right person will be able to see that within them. People also see that you're very photogenic, so they love to stare at your photos. Or let's say you and your friends are out in public and you're taking photos of each other, something about the way you pose. It's like people can even see you doing modeling shoots. Um, Even if you don't see that in yourself, it's like people can see you doing modeling shoots with like very cool backgrounds and things. Because as I look at the Storms card, it kind of reminds me of like, when people do photo shoots and there's like a cool background and a really cool kind of thing they're wearing that matches the background and it's very artistic. So it's like people can see you doing that, but people can also see you doing podcasts and things like that because they love to just listen to you and they wouldn't mind listening to you speak for hours and just staring at you. So there's something about that too. I'm also getting from this arrow Cupid's arrow. So you make some people crush where it's almost like they're being shot by Cupid's arrow whenever they see you and then they can't take their eyes off of you. Very wonderful. So I think now I'm going to pull your tarot cards. I also think that some people secretly stare at you. So we have secrets revealed at the back of the deck. And I feel like you do sense when people do this, but some people, they will intentionally only look at you when you're looking away because they don't want you to know that they're staring at you. They don't want to come across as creepy, but they like what they see. So they want to stare in a what is the word? Don't mind me, pile number one. Sometimes I forget words when I'm channeling because I'm in the energy and then I'm not in my logical mind. When I'm in energies, I'm not using my logical brain. I'm using more of the creative side of my brain, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to think of what the right word is. It's like they're trying to do it very discreetly. Okay, so and not come across as creepy. Okay, so for this part of the reading, I'm not going to use reversals. So spirit guides of pile number one, spirit guides of pile number one. What about pile number one makes people stop and stare? Something also about your shoulder bones, collarbones. They look very pretty. Especially like, I don't know if some of you ever wear body glitter or body lotion that makes your shoulders kind of like shiny, but in a good way. Okay, so we have the star. I think part of it is your energy. How I said your energy is very magnetic, where it makes people very drawn to you. But I also think you just have this energy about you where people want to stare at you. With the star, spirit is telling me, you know how like people love to stare at celebrities, love to look at different photos of them, love to take photos of them, love to talk about them. Like you have that type of energy where people love to stare at you, people love to talk to you, people love to talk about you. There's something very interesting about you. We have the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is When I pulled this card, I heard sex appeal. So you have something sexually appealing about you that people want and like. We have the Fool. So there's something about you seeming like a free-spirited person. There's something about you seeming like the type of person that's not necessarily held down by other people's opinions of you. You live life authentically to you and unapologetically. And something about that makes people feel like you're secure in yourself, so they want to stare at you. It makes you more magnetic to them, subconsciously. It's not a conscious thing that they're thinking, but it's a subconscious thing where it's like, I'm more drawn to you now that I know you're secure within yourself. And some people that do have insecurities come on your path to learn how to be more secure with themselves and give less F's about what other people think. So I feel like you're just being free, you're just being you, and that energy is magnetic. I think I've read something or seen a video about authenticity being the highest vibration that there is. I could be mistaken, but Spirit is bringing that to my attention. So you're vibing pretty high and people like the vibe, but be careful around low vibrational people that are just very insecure, jealous, kind of like see you being happy and just want to tear you down for that. But I don't think you surround yourself with people like that anyway. Ace of Wands is also creativity, so you could be creative with the way you dress. Very unique way of dressing. We have the Four of Cups. I think some people that aren't happy with themselves with the Four of Cups aren't content with themselves, where they always want to fix something about themselves. They're never happy. Um, it's like they can fix every insecurity they have, but they will still never be happy, are very drawn to you because they wonder, how is pile number one so secure within themselves? Or at least that's their view of you, where they're staring at you and observing you to try and learn from you, but I don't think they'd ever tell you that. That's more so unspoken. We have the Queen of Swords. So some people will observe you, observe the way you talk, observe the way you carry yourself because you seem secure in yourself, and they will try to mimic that to look more confident in themselves. And it's not like, okay, it's like they're trying to learn from you, yes, but they also try to mimic you so that they can also seem like they like themselves because deep down they know they don't. But then that mimicking becomes something where they start to understand you and learn how to be confident within themselves. But I will also say some people look at you and they're busy taking notes like, oh, this person did their hair like this. Put this outfit together like this. I want to try it. Like people kind of look at you for inspiration, if that makes sense, because I'm clairvoyantly seeing somebody look through Pinterest for clothes. So people look at you for inspiration, but be careful of people that are like trying to be your friends, but also become you at the same time. It's okay to take inspiration, but when somebody tries to become a carbon copy of you, it is creepy and it is weird. So I feel like maybe some of you have dealt with that. And again, Queen of Swords kind of confirms what I said earlier about your voice being very beautiful to others. And you seem like you're very fearless. Like you can just go out in public and vibe, and it feels like you're fearless and brave, and people like that. So they stop and stare. And with the infinity symbol, it's kind of like if people could stare at you for hours, they would. um, I don't know why. I just feel like you're very aesthetically pleasing to look at. So I don't know if you've ever spoken to somebody very beautiful and you're having a conversation with them and you just want to keep staring at them because they're so beautiful. That's the energy I feel. Also something about your eyelashes and your side profile. So this is what I have for you, pile number one. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my Palamatus. If you chose this purple agate crystal and the Britney Spears oracle, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what about you makes people stop and stare. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you happen to find yourself resonating with these messages, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can find my email address in the description box below. So your card is the Dancer. I'm very drawn to her legs, her calves. So there's something about your legs that people find sexy, regardless of your gender. Because even men can have nice legs. There's something about you looking like you have the body of a dancer. Or maybe some of you are actually dancers and people, like let's say you've ever danced. Um, on stage or something or in a class, it's like people love to stare at you while you're dancing. And if you're not a dancer, let's say you're in a bar, in a club, and you're dancing, people love to stare at you when you're dancing because you look very beautiful. Okay, but there's something about either you having the body of a dancer or something about when you dance, people love to stare, and something about your legs, the shoes you wear, the heels you wear. For the women, like when you wear heels and your calves look very nice. I don't know if you've ever seen that when somebody's really fit and then they have really nice calves and then they wear heels. Chef's kiss, like I'm seeing that for some of you. Let's get your cards. So just take it as it resonates. But I'm also getting the hips, the thighs, the way you shake your hips. Something about that people like to stare at. The behind area, like I'm hearing juicy. Okay, let's get your cards. So Spirit Guides of pile number 2. So you have the Rebel in the reverse. Spirit Guides of pile number 2. What about them makes people stop and stare? We have the Spotlight. We have the Professional. And we have the Showstopper in the reverse. At the back of the deck, we do have the Badass. Okay, so I feel with the Badass here, since she's wearing corporate wear, and with the Professional here, you're good at whatever you do. People see you as a very talented person. Even if they don't know what you do, they get this impression of you that you're talented at something or you're good at something. So whenever you're doing something you're good at, even if it doesn't have to do with your career, you do it so effortlessly that people love to stop and stare and be like, whoa, pile number 2 so good at what they do. How do they do it? How do they learn to be so good at what they do? Spirit is showing me you have swan energy. So swan energy, to me, that represents somebody that's very talented, somebody that's very pure-hearted, somebody that represents beauty because swans represent beauty. Also talent and like somebody that does something effortlessly. When I think of swans, I think of also perfection because of that movie. What is that movie with the I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. Does she do ballet or something in that movie? I haven't watched that movie, but I've seen it before, like videos of it. I'm sure some of you will know what I'm talking about. So it's making me think of that with the dancer and the swan. Like perfection. People see you as perfection. Even if you don't see yourself that way, people see it as like whatever you do is so effortless and perfect. Like everything you do seems perfect. You seem like you're not making small mistakes. And the thing is, even if you are making mistakes, people don't notice it. So Spirit is bringing to my attention something I learned in school. So for context, I used to do drama after school. I took drama class and I used to love to be in those theater performances at school, but I also did pageants in school. So from both of those, I learned that when you're making a mistake on stage, um, you have to pretend as if you never made a mistake. You have to pretend as though it's part of that And most likely no one will notice. Like, let's say you're on stage and delivering your lines. If you go a little bit off script and you change it up a little bit, but you still say the same thing, nobody's gonna notice that you made that mistake because nobody saw the script before. You know what I mean? So it's like, even if you are making mistakes, Spirit is showing me that it's like people don't notice. People still see it as effortless and perfection. You know what I mean? So that's the energy I see here. Also, if you have dainty little tattoos, people love to look at your tattoos, or just tattoos in general, or piercings. People love to look at that. But yeah, if you do ever wear like office wear or very professional clothing, people also love to look at you with that because you just look so sexy. It's reminding me of that office siren trend that was going around. I don't know if it's still trendy, but yeah, it's reminding me of that. Yeah, you look very smart and professional in informal clothing. So people love to stare at you like that. Okay, I'm getting an interesting message for you, Pile 2. The reason why people love to stare at you. Firstly, they think that you're very sexy, so they undress you with their eyes and fantasize about you because she's in lingerie. Well, it looks like lingerie almost to me. So sometimes people fantasize about you like that. I'm also noticing she has a belly ring here, so if some of you have belly rings, people love to look at it. Or something about your stomach area, the hips, the curve there. Even if you're not so curvy, but there's something about the curve um where your waist goes a little bit smaller and then it goes a little bit more curvier by the hips, if that makes sense. But even if you're not curvy, I hope you get what I mean. Something about the hips and the stomach, the you know. But the interesting message I got was, so I didn't know this, but I kind of saw it before in my own personal experiences. So what Spirit was showing me is, you know how some people love attention. They love attention so much, and then when people don't give them attention, they get mad. But actually, people that seek attention actually push attention away. It's kind of like manifestation. You know, when you want something so bad, you push it away energetically, where you're like, when you're in a desperate energy, you're pushing things away. And I have noticed that when I was in desperate energies, like when I was desperate for money and broke, I was kind of pushing it away. But when you care less about it, it comes to you. So because you don't care about getting attention from others, you don't even want to be in the spotlight. But because you don't care about getting attention from others, you get attention. So it's like, it's weird to say, but it's interesting. Spirit is saying, when you want attention from others, nobody's going to look at you. But when you're not looking for that attention and you're just having fun and being yourself and enjoying yourself, guess what? People are going to give you attention. So it's like, because you're not looking to be in the limelight, you are in the limelight. With the showstopper in reverse and the spotlight upright. Very cool. I also instinctively felt like putting my hair up. So I don't know if some of you, but I felt like putting it up as if I was gonna use a claw clip. I don't even have a claw clip. So I don't know if some of you like to use claw clips or something about it, the way your hair looks when it's up. It looks very sexy. But even when your hair's down, it looks very beautiful. I don't know if some of you have naturally wavy hair or just beach waves, or the way your hair falls and frames your face, it looks very beautiful. Also, something about when you're wearing cleavage, people love to stare. You also have a gorgeous, gorgeous, or handsome, handsome smile. And the reason why I said the word twice is to emphasize how beautiful your smile is. It just lights up the whole room, pile number 2. There's also something about your nails or your hands looking good and the way that you smell, but also your kindness makes people stare at you. Your kindness makes people love you. The second they meet you, they think you're so lovable. And there's something about you also being so sweet as a person. I also think this pile is quite spiritual. Because of the two purples here, it's making me think of intuition, and the pink and green here makes me think of the heart chakra, love. So maybe you're somebody that's in love with love. If you are in a romantic connection, when you and your partner go out in public, people think you're so cute together, so they love to stare at you together, or they think you're a hot couple. So maybe some people are staring at you, wishing that they could be in your partner's place, or vice versa. Or even some people that may be attracted to both sexes may find both of you attractive. But even if they're not attracted to both sexes, it's kind of like both of them are attractive together. So I'm seeing that. But either way, it's just like I see cute couple energy. So if you are, then take that, because people do stare at you when you're out in public together. You also seem like somebody that follows the rules, or that you like to keep the peace. With the rebel reverse, it feels like you don't rebel against things. It feels like you follow the rules. You do everything the way it's supposed to be done. Because, okay, I understand that sometimes it is good to bring change and rebel and go against things, but in some cases, we need to know when to keep our mouths shut, because I have been really rebellious when I was in my younger 20s, and there were moments where I had to keep my mouth shut and I rebelled and I just caused a mess. So I understand it. Maybe some of you don't resonate with that, where you just know how to have a balance between knowing when to rebel and knowing when to just keep quiet, if that makes sense. Like your situational awareness, and it makes people stare at you because they don't know what to expect from you. Um, in that moment, if you do know how to balance it out, they don't know if you're going to rebel in that moment, or if you're going to speak up, or if you're going to just keep quiet and follow the rules. So let's get your tarot cards out. Some of you could also have beautiful singing voices, since you did choose the Britney Spears Oracle. We have the Page of Swords, but you also, how I said before, when you're wearing formal clothes or work clothes, you can see how she's wearing this nice blouse here. You look very sophisticated and smart, and people like to stare at you because of that. You have this kind of vibe to you that makes people respect you instantly. We have the Empress reverse. Some people that are insecure in themselves will stare at you and compare themselves to you. That's what I will say. We have the Three of Cups. Some people stare at you because they want to be your friend, or because they think you're very fun to be around. Or some people think that you would be a good business partner, or good to bring an opportunity to, because something about you paying attention to details, not even just with work, but even with the way you dress. It's like from head to toe, the attention to detail is there. So we have the Eight of Swords, and we have Awakening. Okay, I feel like some people stare at you because some of the things you say are just so profound, but you don't realize it. Going back to you being very intuitive, sometimes you'll just say something and someone will be shocked, because it's like, how did you know I needed to hear that in that moment? And then they're just staring at you with a shocked look on their face. Or maybe they even don't show that they're shocked, but they're just staring at you because it's like, whoa, how did you know that I needed to hear that? Like, you just awakened something in me. You made me realize something. Some people will stare out of jealousy. I don't like this energy. Queen of Wands and Seven of Swords. I can attest to this myself. I'm sure I said this in another pick a card, but um 2 weekends ago I went out, and there were some women that were giving me compliments, and I kid you not, there were four different women sitting at different tables that were looking at me with like this ugly stare, like this. You could see the jealousy on their face. Like, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about for those that resonate with this, where when somebody's staring at you, you can see if it's out of a place of jealousy or if it's out of a place of admiration. So some people will stare at you with this bitter, nasty look on their face because they're insecure in themselves and they're jealous of you. And it's kind of like they perceive you as so perfect and they see something within you that they lack within themselves. So then it instantly turns into this negative energy. Um, but yeah, that's what I see. So this is what I have for you, pile number 2. Sorry to end off on that energy, but I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pal number 3s. If you chose this Mahogany Obsidian Crystal and the Divine Feminine Oracle, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what about you makes people stop and stare. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you happen to find yourself resonating with these messages, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can find my email address in the description box below. So the first thing I'm getting from your pile is you have this very seductive, dark feminine energy. And even if you're a man, you have that seductive, mysterious, sexy type of aura and vibe. And also the way you look is like that. I'm picking up for a lot of people in this pile, you're more so gonna have dark hair. Or I'm picking up for the men, like tall, dark, handsome kind of vibe, or even for the women, but it's kind of giving me that vibe of like mystery yet seduction at the same time. Okay, so let's pull your cards. And that's why people love to stare, because it's like they want to figure out like who's that person over there. They're very intrigued by you and they also find you very sexy. I'm seeing Kali Uchis, her photos, and I don't know if you've ever seen her Instagram. Her photos are so beautiful. She's such a gorgeous woman. Maybe some of you look like her or like you remind people of her, maybe in the way you look or the way you dress. Go and check her out if you don't know what she looks like. I'm also seeing roses, like red roses in my mind. So roses represent love, but red roses to me represent like romance, seduction, passion. Okay, so people are romantically attracted to you, maybe even want to stare at you, ask you out on a date, and that is why they stop and stare. We have the goddess of discernment with I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's a holy hell yes. I forgot to read your card. I think it says the first woman. I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life I desire to live. What I also heard from your pile, for your pile, is dream woman, dream man. So you are the woman or man or person of people's dreams, and a lot of people romanticize you and kind of like daydream about what it would be like to be with you romantically. You just give off that vibe of like, if I was with that person, that's like my dream person over there. Even if they don't know you, they just assume that your personality matches up to what they want in love. I don't know why, but it's the message I'm getting. Ooh, I need to cover this card, sorry. I almost put this card here without covering it because there is nudity. This one's not so bad, so I don't think anything will happen. But we have the enlightened feminine with my gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. 2 more cards, Spirit, for why do people stop and stare? So we have Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance. I choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. And we have Our Lady of the Interior Life with I trust the answers I find within me. I know that the presence of love is real. And we have the joy permeated mother at the back of the deck. So some people look at you because they see you with your family and they think that your family looks so cute if you do have a family of your own. But even if you're just out in public with your family, like it looks like a cute, wholesome vibe, if that makes sense. So I'm seeing that for some of you, not all of you will resonate with that. I feel like some people in this pile have more of an almond eye shape, whereas some people in this pile have very big eyes. But there's something about your eyes that are beautiful to people or very handsome to people, where that is the first thing they're going to look at, your eyes. And they love to stare into your eyes whenever they're having conversations with you. There's something about when you smile. Your smile could be beautiful, but it's not necessarily the smile that people look at, but it's the smile in your eyes, the sparkle in your eyes, the joy in your eyes, the love in your eyes. Maybe you have very expressive eyes, so people love to look into your eyes to see what you're feeling because, like I said, you give off a vibe of mystery. So sometimes people try to read your body language and your emotions to kind of understand you more and get what you're feeling because of curiosity and intrigue. But also people just stare out of curiosity and intrigue, like who's that person over there? Also, you could have very healthy, beautiful hair. No matter the length of your hair looks healthy, shiny, and soft. And some of you love to do um the blowout waves, is that what it's called? Or when you take those hair rollers and you put it in your hair, or curling your hair with an iron, something about curls. But it looks almost like salon, like you got them done at the salon or something like that. For others of you, if you don't do anything special to your hair, that's okay, but there's just something about your hair looking soft and healthy and beautiful. What I will say is there's different facial features here, but your face is very beautiful either way. What I do see is something about the cheeks. So some of you have naturally fuller cheeks, and it looks very cute when you smile. Some of you have more prominent cheekbones, but there's something about the cheeks. So just take it as it resonates for you. There's also something about your body, especially the upper part of the body, that people love to stare at. People may even undress you with their eyes because there was like nudity here in these two cards. You also seem very clean, neat, and tidy in your appearance and very presentable. So people love to stare at you because of that. Maybe some of you um have that like clean girl aesthetic, if that makes sense. I see that for some of you. Whereas some of you look a lot more bougie, or you look like you, if you're not like bougie, it's like you look like you buy clothes and products and hair products where it's like quality over quantity. Maybe even having a signature perfume where you only use one perfume, but it's a really great quality perfume, and n- um people associate that scent to you because they don't know anybody else that smells like that with that perfume. So I'm seeing something about a signature scent where people mentally associate that scent to you, and they like staring at you while smelling you simultaneously at the same time. So let's say someone comes in for a hug, even if you're a man, and you wear cologne, something about a signature scent where people mentally associate it to you, and then they hug you or they're around you and they're trying to smell you in a non like in a discreet way, but it's like they don't want you to know they're smelling you. But then they also try to stare at you at the same time. I see that. Sometimes you'll even hang out with a person and then later in the day they go home and they smell you on them, and then they kind of like smell themselves to reminisce on you. But I do feel like that would be people that are closer to you. Because if not, that is kind of creepy and weird. People love to stare at you because of your intelligence and your wisdom. So, something about when you speak, you demand attention, respect, and listening ears to listen to every word you say. You sound intelligent when you speak. You sound like you know what you're talking about. So people want to listen to the answers you have, to the things you have to say. There's also something about people loving to stare at you, um, not just you, but also your home with the Lady of Interior Life. So there's something about your home looking very beautiful, and the outside, people love to stare at it. Let's say they walk or drive past, they're like, oh, that's a beautiful home. Or let's say somebody's invited to your home, they like to look at the interior, like, whoa, it's very beautiful. So I see that too. Also your clothes. People like to stare at your clothes, the clothes you wear. I do also think when you're out in public, you're a little bit guarded because you don't just trust strangers or anybody. So, because you're a little bit guarded, it adds to that mysterious, seductive energy where people just want to be around you even more. It's kind of like Spirit is showing me, you know, when a cat ignores you and then you want the cat even more, you want the cat to come up to you and cuddle you and play with you. It's giving you that vibe, okay? So because you're a little bit distant at first around strangers, not fully trusting them, not fully opening yourself up to them, it it draws them into you even more where they are the ones now chasing you. But I don't think you do it intentionally to make people chase you, but I do see that people chase after you. Whether you realize it or not, they feel that way about you. You also just live life the way you want. So let's say you want to wear something and it's very unconventional and it's like whatever, I'm going to wear it because it makes me happy. So I see that type of energy with you, but not just with what you wear. Excuse me. Not just with what you wear, but it's also with the way you act in general, the way you speak, your whole demeanor, your actions. It's like you don't necessarily just live your life to please others. You live life to please yourself. So you're not trying to get people to agree with you because this is your life. It's not other people's life. So I do see that energy quite strongly. Let's go ahead and pull your tarot cards. I feel like using the Light Seers Tarot for you, a different tarot deck than the other piles. So maybe you're quite unique in some way and people love to stare at you because of that. Or you have a unique look to you where not many people look like you. Unique features or striking features. People also think you could be a model because I'm seeing a model pose where it's like 1, 2, 3 pose or something. I'm seeing that clairvoyantly. We have the Six of Wands. We have the Five of Cups. I also see in your neighborhood, like let's say you go out for a walk, and you're coming outside of your house. It's like people are staring at your house, but they're also staring at you. And you're going on a walk, people are staring at you. Um, I just feel like people like to look at you. We have the Eight of Wands. Something about your teeth. Like people like looking at your teeth. So this is the Tower, the Knight of Pentacles. I do feel that a lot of you may feel disappointed in the fact that certain people sexualize you a little bit too much when you're out in public. So I don't know if some of you have dealt with that a lot, like creepy men that just sexualize you, because I do feel like with this pile, even when you try to not be sexy or dress in a way where you're showing anything, men will still stare for the women here. And I don't want to trigger you, but maybe there is some trauma around that, which I completely understand. I've been through that too. So, this is a safe space. Um, so I completely get that feeling here, but I feel like I just pick up on that and I'm not sure why Spirit is showing me that, but they are. So I feel like you reject creepy men like that very quickly for the women here. There's something about the way you walk, the way you move. Maybe you walk very fast. Because we have Knight of Pentacles here and he's walking, and then Eight of Wands is like a fast paced energy. So maybe some of you walk fast or talk fast or something, and then people love to stare because of that. And if you ever walk outside with your dogs or animals, I think I'm getting that too. People love to praise you and compliment you when you're out in public. With the Six of Wands here, look at all the hands praising this person. So I feel like that's also the reason why. So some people look at you and be like, ooh, I really want to compliment this person, but sometimes they're too shy to. So I do see some people stare at you with the intention to compliment you, and then they're like, oh no, I'm too shy. But some people are brave enough to tell you, like, I really like this about you, you know. So this is what I have for you, pile number 3. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.